What's going on, everybody? It is I, Jeen the Jeenius. Welcome to another edition of Nabruh Talk. It is Monday, April 9th, 2018. And today we have a special guest with us. She is a Kean University student, soon to be graduate. She's a finance major with her own financial platform called Finance with Giovanna. Please give a round of applause for Giovanna Dessin.
Hi everyone, so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming on Nabruh Talk today. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I am amazing right now.
It is a beautiful day.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Very productive. I had an amazing day at church yesterday.
That's good.
First and foremost, and just spent some time with friends. Reflect, reevaluate. It was a pretty good weekend. It's getting near the end of the semester, so I have to cherish these last moments that I have as being an undergraduate student. So, yeah.
So you're graduating from Kean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're a finance major.
Yes.
Take us into what it was like being a student at Kean, and how did you get into finances?
Right. Okay. So, how do I want to start that off? So, being a student at Kean, first of all, I transferred here in 2016. So, it wasn't actually a rough transition. I actually pretty much fell into everything, and everything fell into place pretty quickly for me. I got really involved on campus, and I'm really shocked at how fast time flies because I got here 2016 and now I'm almost done. I'm almost out of here.
Really?
It's crazy.
Like
Yeah.
Your freshman year was 2016?
I transferred here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. From what school?
From my freshman year I went to Virginia Union University, and then I went to Burlington County College, and then I'm here. So I got 3 schools under my belt.
Nice.
But it was a smooth transition. I really love being a student here. Now, this is how I got into finance, okay? So, or wanting to get my degree in finance and, further my education in finance, personal finance at that. So when I first started out, I was a freshman in college and I was majoring in political science, And I thought in order for me to be an advocate for people, I had to be a poli-sci major, okay? My path was law school, and I just felt as though I had to do political science. But once I got into my classes, I realized this is not for me. I don't want to, necessarily talk about the House of Burgesses and the government all day,
Yeah.
And so I ended up having to transfer out of that school because I didn't have $14,000 to come out of pocket to pay, okay? So that's why I transferred to a community college, and after that, a lot of people don't know this about me. When people see Giovanna, they're like, oh, Giovanna, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're so involved. Oh my gosh, you're an inspiration. But a lot of people don't know that I actually flunked out of school. I flunked out of Burlington County College.
Wow. So you were like,
right.
You was at like rock bottom?
I was at rock bottom, okay?
Wow.
From May until December, right? And so I looked up fall 2015, which I love that semester or that portion of my life, because that's where what really sparked me to be who I am today. So I looked up, flunked out of school. Okay, I wasn't eligible for financial aid for Burlington County College, and I wasn't in school. I didn't have a job, and I still owed my previous school $3,000. So I couldn't even transfer to a real institution without paying that money, right? So I remember I was at rock bottom, and I got a note card out, and I started writing down all my goals and what I wanted to see change in my life, right? So I wrote down on that note card, I said, I'm going to transfer to Kean University. And mind you, this was back in September. And I told myself, I'm going to transfer. I'm going to pay off my transcripts from my previous university. And I was going to get into plus-size modeling. And specifically, I was going to walk for Ashley Stewart. And I wrote on there that whatever school that I did transfer to, I was going to make a difference on campus. Right? So I'm so big on affirmations and writing everything down. Right? So I ended up getting a job, which helped me pay off my transcripts of the $3,000. And I ended up transferring to Kean University. And I told myself I wanted to get into finance because I feel like finance is a lot of times we don't want to talk about finance. It's a misunderstanding, and a lot of us are illiterate when it comes to how to manage our personal finances, And I wanted to get into finance, so I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and major in finance. Maybe that'll give me a better understanding as well. So I decided to major in finances, and just for the record, everything I wrote on that note card that I previously stated all came true. So I just want to, as a sidebar, when it comes to affirmations, thank you. When it comes to affirmations, write everything down, have a goal, and it will happen if you keep telling yourself that and you keep working towards that.
That's like a success habit that works for a lot of people. Writing them down, and just embedding it into your brain,
Right.
So,
and we can turn that over into finances because when you write down your financial goals as far as, okay, I'm gonna save $10 at least, you know, and then by June I'll save $50, or I'll save this, I'll save that. Then you can be able to work towards your financial goals and actually achieve those goals, instead of just, oh, I want to save money, and you don't have your reasoning for saving it, or you don't even have financial goals. So that's kind of how I got started into finance. Now the major finance it deals with corporate finance as well. We don't necessarily touch on personal finance as much as I would like, but I do like the corporate side of that. So that way when I do graduate, I can get a job in finance and also be able to finance with Giovanna, okay?
Yeah. So corporate finance, you're more in
basically how to make
with businesses and
how to make the business money. You know how to forecast different things for how different revenues for the business. Things like that. So
that's important, because I feel like in corporate finance, people don't understand that in any company, they have money that they need to invest in employees, bills, and stuff like that. So
and companies invest too.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that they have investments as well.
Right. So I think that's a pretty cool career path.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that you're creating your own platform for for finances and everything like that. So as far as what you've been through, right? When did you realize that you needed to take a turn for your career? So you hit rock bottom. When did you actually understand, like, okay, I need to get my life together?
Okay, so fall 2015 was my rock bottom, and I wanted so there's two different instances that I'll mention, okay? So fall 2015, my main focus was making sure that women make it happen for themselves, and that's why I got involved with Women of Excellence, so that I can really live my passion and my purpose throughout Women of Excellence, Last semester was another rock bottom for me. A lot of people don't know. I went through a lot of financial troubles because I wasn't employed last semester. I didn't really have a savings, and it was really hard for me. So I realized that I realized that it's this ongoing issue cycle within our community, and I wanted to be the one to break the change. I wanted to be the one to spark the movement of financial literacy. I feel like last semester, like, I went through a lot, and I realized that it's important for us to have our own finances, especially as women and minorities, because we don't really have the assets that our white counterparts necessarily have, or that they're born with. A lot of us have to go out and get it on our own, or and I was just thinking to myself that if people started out saving, or if they had a college savings, from the time that they were born, they would be good when they get into college. A lot of people are in college now, and they're trying to get money.
Right.
They're trying to get the smallest things, like traveling far just to get $50 here and there. Just trying to get money when they're making season classes. They're putting their focus on, oh my gosh, like, how can I get this money? But if we had that savings already set, we don't have to worry about getting our next dollar. We can focus on school, because then you look up, you have loans for school, and you're getting C's and D's in classes, repeating classes, wasting time. Right. You're wasting more money, you're losing more money, you're owing more money.
Yeah. I have this app, Acorns, right? So it helps you save money and also invest it. Right. And if some people don't know this, they have a blog portion on the app where you just read about different aspects of finances. And they have articles about Warren Buffett. Right. And he always talks about how when he was in college, he would save tremendous amount of money doing certain things. But people don't know this, but Warren Buffett, he was like the kid who just grew up, wanted to sell things. So by his senior year in college, I believe, I don't know if he finished, or by the time he finished college or got out, he had $10,000 for him to invest in. And what that shows you is, when you're in college, whether it be you receiving a refund check or just working, you can have something in your pocket by the time you graduate. But it's about how you take control of the money that you receive from your refund checks and everything like that. Because I know a lot of us get refund checks, but it's what are you doing with that refund check, You can save it so you can pay it back, or you can save it and invest in it for it to double, for you to pay back that loan and have more for yourself. Right. You mentioned that you were in Women of Excellence. You're still in Women of Excellence. That's the tongue twister. You're the president, right?
Right.
How has it been being in a group for women? You know, I know
Right.
you know women has the stigma of you guys can't work together because you guys are always fighting, et cetera, et cetera. What have you learned so far in your organization, and what do you plan to take away from that moving forward when you graduate from college?
What have I learned so far with women in advice? I've learned that a lot of us as women are very we're going through the same thing, you know, and we're very closed off. We don't want to open up to each other because we feel as though, oh, she doesn't really understand what I'm going through,
Or you'll be judged.
or you'll be judged, or who is she to try to tell me how to live my life. But honestly, my passion is so deep when it comes to women empowerment. I feel as though we have everybody in society telling us how to look, how to dress, how we should talk, you know, and so, right, exactly. But I just feel as though we as women should create ourselves and not depend on who we are from the media or things like that. You know, so it's been amazing being with Women of Excellence. I've been able to have events teaching on self-love, self-worth, and also finances and also the business side of things like that. So it's been amazing when people come up to me and they tell me because of that event, you know, I was able to learn how to love myself, or I'm starting to learn how to love myself. And also Women of Excellence has been a really positive outlet for people to come and just get involved, you know. So I've learned a lot with Women of Excellence, and I love just being able to live my passion out through that, you know.
That's pretty good.
Right.
So this Thursday you'll be doing a panel, or we'll be doing a panel together, finance. It's called finance. What's the name of financial?
Recreating the future of our finances,
Okay,
Mr.
right.
Panelist.
Recreating the future of our finances.
Yes.
Right? So take us to the first time you thought about this idea. What made you, what sparked you to say we need to have a financial panel? Because when you told me this, I was excited because the funny thing about that, when I was at my old job, one of my ideas was to become like a financial expert. You know, just not even to be paid for, but just to be a representative of that company, to go around and travel and to explain to students the basics of finances, right? And then no later than like 2 or 3 weeks later, you're telling me that you're doing a panel. I'm like, all right, let me hop on board, because my mentality is, all right, if your friend is doing something like that, you don't need to do it apart from her and him. Is just
collaboration
do it
over
together,
competition.
You know, so what sparked you to start this this whole idea?
Yeah, because there's a lot of different, as you know, our panelists are very, you know, from different backgrounds, well versed. So I felt as though this would be an amazing event to have. So it'll be able to give students different different outlooks on finance. You know, when people hear finance, they think, "Oh God, I don't want to talk about it." You know? Just
like earlier before we started the show.
It's okay, you didn't have to throw that out there, but anyways. But so on the panel we have Chase. He's going to be speaking on foreign forex trading. And a lot of people, when I speak about currencies, they think I'm talking about Bitcoin, you know. And so I put Chase on the panel because he will be able to offer students a different outlook as far as how they can invest their money. You know, Mario's going to be speaking on the entrepreneurship side, the finances behind entrepreneurship. So if anybody wants to start a business, they'll know, you know, the startup costs, how much it costs to register your business. There's little things like shipping costs, you know. Right. Analytics, all of that. So he's going to be speaking on that, and you'll be speaking on the credit and savings. So what made me want to have this event is because I feel as though I will be the person to really spark the movement of financial literacy amongst our community. And there's a lot of different different outlets when it comes to finance, so people will be able to come and hear different sides of finance, not come into a boring event seminar. But also I wanted to choose a student panel because I felt as though that will be more relatable, because we are on a college campus. You know, a lot of people come to campus, they have these seminars, and they're like these big old people on Wall Street or corporate America. But if we're able to start businesses, if we're able to trade in foreign currencies, if we're able to have our credit and savings all intact, and we're students, there's no difference between you and me, you know, so the students can come in and see that they're students just like you guys. I know you just graduated, but you're, you know, a recent graduate. So I wanted to make it a panel that was relatable, that offered a wide variety of financial advice, you know.
That's good. Now, do you plan on making this more making this like a tour type thing, you know, where you're doing this, you know, maybe monthly type of thing? Because I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind doing something like that with you, you know, traveling to different campuses and high schools just to teach people the basics, you know. Do you see that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I am actually having an event 2 weeks after our event.
Okay.
It's going to be same place, same time in the library. But I do plan on having this as like a monthly tour type thing. I do want to branch off of the East Coast and start getting out into, you know, the United States more instead of just New Jersey. So I do plan on having this as a bigger, on a broader scale, speaking to different audiences that I'm not used to.
Right.
You know, because my main focus is on just getting the content out there. You know, a lot of people don't know. We don't know how to invest. We don't know what trading foreign currencies are. You know, so my main goal is just to get the content out there on a broader scale. So I do plan on making this bigger, having events every month, and making Finance with Giovanna my main source of income.
Right.
So.
Okay. So, being that you're in a financial field, right? What have you noticed is the biggest issue when it comes to people understanding finances, right? So when you try to have a conversation with somebody, because I feel like with me, working at a bank for my first time, I feel like the biggest thing that I've taken away with consumers is that they really don't understand credit, which is why I took the time out to understand credit so I can teach them. What have you noticed the most and what they lack as far as understanding finances?
Definitely what I've noticed is that people's priorities are very messed up.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it, okay? Because people want to buy $200 pair of shoes, okay? They want to buy the Gucci bag, you know? Maybe they have the money for it, but after you buy it, you're left with like $20, you know? People want to, they want to buy versus save. Like when you have a paycheck, let's just say you have $100 left over. Some of the mentality is, okay, how can I spend this $100? No, how can you save that $100? You know, a lot of our priority is just messed up. It's not, it's really sad.
Why do you think it's that way?
Mainly because we aren't taught, you know. So I don't quite fault us. You know, when I say us, I mean minorities. You know, women. I don't quite fault us because we don't know. We don't know. You know, but that's why I feel as though our priorities it really plays a big role in our finances, because we have people that, you know, or for example, like I stated earlier, people want to talk about relationships. They want to talk about all this. Oh boy, what do boys like? What do girls like? Let me say something. I said this earlier, but let me say something, okay? Before you get in a relationship, you need to have your finances in order, okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Before you get in
a relationship, you have to have your finances in order, okay?
That's for men and women.
For men and women.
We're not just talking about the men who are trying to get in a relationship with women. We're talking about women too.
Women
both
too.
Of y'all.
Exactly. So we want to talk about the fun stuff, but we don't want to talk about our money.
Right.
You know, it's like people leave college and they look up, oh my gosh, I played around all my 4 years wanting to talk about relationships or wanting to go to these little things here and there. I didn't network. I didn't do anything. Now I don't have a job lined up. Let me
stop you right there. This is about the 10th interview / Nabruh Talk, where we are talking about what you really should be doing in college.
Exactly.
Networking, putting together your own business within the 4 or 5 years, saving your money.
Yeah.
People are not gonna realize this until after, where they're stuck.
Right, exactly.
And not just stuck, and they're in the point where they look back like, dag, I really should have been doing this in college instead of that.
Because now you graduate, no job lined up, no business that you're currently working on, and now you got these people from the loan companies calling you, hey, where's our payment?
Right, you know. I feel like when it comes to our people, the reason why we don't understand finances is because we spend so much time trying to compete with the other race, the race that actually has the money. I remember Dr. Umar had mentioned in a Breakfast Club interview, he was like, we spend twice as much on the Mercedes-Benz, although white people have twice the wealth.
Right.
You feel me? Well, so why does that make? Why is that happening? You feel me? Like, and then the problem is like you trying to educate people of color, minorities, and women about their money, and they take it offensive. They get very defensive, you know, when you try to tell them, like, don't tell me what to do with my money. He's like, yo, I'm not trying to dictate you, but I'm trying to tell you, everyone wants to have a family.
Right.
Everybody wants kids, right? You need to put yourself in a position to prepare yourself, not just for you, but for your family, because your child will be 18 one day. And even if they don't want to go to college, there's a possibility that they want to start a business. If you don't prepare them financially, that's going to fall on you. Now, they're going to feel out of place. They're going to feel behind because you were too ignorant to listen to somebody who was only trying to educate you on finances.
Right. And one of the viewpoints I always tell people is that we built this country.
Right.
Let's be real. We built this country. We built the pyramids. You walk outside, everything you see outside, we invented that. And when I say we, I mean we as black people. And I'm going to say that very unapologetically. So there's no reason why we as black people are as poor as we are today.
Right.
You have other races capitalizing off of our beauty. They're capitalizing after our talents. And we're sitting up here and we're buying it from them. No, this came from us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to really realize that we got to get things together. We have to get it in order, or we're going to keep living a poor life.
Right.
We're going to keep, and even the people who graduate college, they get the nice $50,000 job, and they start to, I'm good. No, what are you doing with your salary?
Right.
You know, there's some people who make $50K, but there's some people who make $20K but have a bigger savings than the $50K people.
Right.
You know, because they get comfortable in, I'm good, I got a nice $50K.
And,
That's not new to the rest of America. What's next? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have to. You owe me a soda.
You owe me a soda. But no.
Right. Like I'm just so big on that. Like I feel like we are some powerful people.
Right. And
there's no reason why we're.
There's no excuse. There really isn't.
There's
because
no excuse.
It's 2018. We have Google. We have all of these resources, and there's no reason for us to be this ignorant anymore. We're always screaming Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Well, look in the mirror because you're black, right? So your financial your black finances matters as well.
Exactly.
So as long as we continue to put on this blindfold and act like these things these financial practices that we're doing are okay, we're always going to put ourselves in a hole.
Right. We need to learn how to turn our passions into profit. And what does that mean? Taking your talents that you have and seeing how you can monetize off of that. Because you have people after slavery, they looked up, shoot, I don't know what to do. Let me go ahead and go back to the master because I don't know what to do with my life.
Right.
You know? But you just stood up here, and you built this country, and now you don't know what to do.
You know what to do.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the lack of knowledge of what to do with your finances and what to do with those talents that you have, and to stop letting people capitalize off of that.
And that's not to take away from, there's no problem with working and making
absolutely. No, there's absolutely no problem
when you're not working with that extra income that you have.
It's all about the management of your money. I always say it's not about how much you make, but it's how you manage your money. And I always also say that everybody's not cut to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Nope, everybody's not cut for that, But I feel as though we are all cut to have our finances in order, So yes, you have a salary. That's amazing. That's good. I plan on have a salary too, just until I can, make finance with Giovanna my primary income. Not knocking people who have salaries. That's perfect, It's all about how do you manage that money? Are you finding strategic ways to invest that money, other than savings accounts, mutual funds, investing in stocks or whatever have you, foreign currencies, There's so many ways to grow your money out here, you know what I'm saying? Don't just have your little salary and think, I'm good, I look nice, and only
got, happen all the time, you feel me? Like, you gotta know, you gotta be prepared for these rainy days and stuff like that.
Exactly, because life happens.
Life happens
when it comes to women, listen, you married a man that has money, okay, that's nice and all. I guess that, I want to marry a man that has money too.
That's always the goal.
But life is gonna happen though,
definitely.
Divorce might happen, God forbid, or death might happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good for women to have our own finances in order too.
And I remember, this is from a lesson, and I know this from experience. I remember I was about 21 years old, and I had one of my best jobs I could ever have thus far. I was getting paid about $15 an hour, working 23, 24, and that's off of, like, you don't have to pay rent. I'm at home with
that's
mom,
good
right?
money.
That's good money. I wasn't saving anything.
Wow.
But what I did learn Actually, I was, but
Mhm.
I was only saving because my paychecks weren't taxed.
Okay.
So I had to send out the taxes during tax season.
Okay.
But I still had money left,
Mhm.
right? One thing my accountant taught me was you do need to put money aside in a different account,
Mhm.
regardless if it's for taxes or just for your own savings.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel like a lot of people don't do. You know,
Mhm.
when you sign up your direct deposit forms and everything, they ask you how many accounts do you want to put your direct deposit in. You shouldn't always put your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
you
split
know?
it up. Mhm.
Even if it's just $5 from your
Right.
paycheck, that
Mhm.
goes a long way.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'll be covering on Thursday, like
Good.
splitting your direct deposit. If you make $100, $10 out of your paycheck
Mhm.
into the savings account will not kill you, because that accumulates to how much money in a year? 10 times what? 26. That's
Like 260.
200. That's
Yeah.
260 in a
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
That's $260 more you didn't have.
That you didn't have to put the physical hours into work for too.
Exactly.
Because people get caught up in, oh, it's only 260. Yeah, but you didn't have to put the hours into work for that
You
260.
get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
So-
saying? Like that. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so I know you guys are getting paid more than $100. So now
Mhm.
let's say you're getting paid $400, $500 a paycheck, and you guys put 10%, 15% of that aside every 2 weeks. You will have $1,000 in your account
Right.
for within a year.
Mhm.
You know, some of y'all get paid every week.
Right.
You know, you guys got to think about that, and
Mhm.
it's not hard. I have this app, and it takes money. It does its own roundups. It's not Acorns.
Mhm.
It's called Capital
Okay.
with a Q.
Mm.
And all you have to do is set up your own goal, because remember, you
Mhm.
got to have a financial goal that you're
Mhm.
trying to reach. Mine is for my debt, my credit card debt.
Mhm.
So I have a goal I want to reach, and it has a bar that
Right.
tells you how much closer you're getting.
Mhm.
And it gives you like a little recognition when you've made it a quarter of the way, or you're
Mhm.
halfway there and stuff. And you create your own roundups.
Right.
So pretty much, if you want to round up to $2,
Mhm.
it'll round up to $2.
Right.
If you want to round up, and it also takes about as many percentages you like for every time you get a deposit into your
Mhm.
account, right? So
Mhm.
if you deposited $500, it'll
Right.
take 5% of that 500. It's not just from your paychecks, but whenever a deposit comes into it.
Mhm.
These are the new resources that we have today as millennials
Right.
that we need to
Mhm.
take advantage
Yeah.
of.
There's
you know?
resources everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Right.
Even just reading on stuff, 401ks, you know,
Mhm.
like I didn't know about 401ks
Right.
until my recent job.
Mhm.
And even if you don't think you need it, at least sign up for it,
Yeah.
because it's money you didn't have before. I think
Exactly.
that's what we're trying to get to. When it comes to financial literacy, it's about the money you didn't have from before.
Mhm.
And I think that's the big gap. I think you had mentioned in one of your posts, like the average savings account in a
Oh, yeah.
black person's account is like what, 11,000?
It was like 6,000, 7,000.
7,000 compared
Mhm.
to a white person's account, 100,000. Y'all don't see a problem with that?
That's a huge problem.
That's
Let me just add in
Go
there
ahead.
for people who built the country.
Mhm.
That's a problem. Okay, people who have talents that everybody capitalizes
Right.
off of. That's an issue for us to have such a huge financial gap like that. I mean, what's the issue? I mean, come on, you know. The issue is the priorities,
Right.
and it's not because we don't have the money. Because listen, we got the money.
Mhm.
It's just we don't know how to manage the
We
money.
don't
We
know
want
how
to
to
buy
manage it,
chains, and we
yeah.
want to buy pants that cost $400 that look like any other pair of pants.
Right.
We want to buy
Sneakers.
shoes. That's fine and all, but I mean, come on. I mean, let's get our priorities
Right.
straight. You know.
I feel, like I said, I think it goes back to the competition and trying to keep up with the Joneses
Mhm.
mentality. It's like, yo,
Just trying to keep up.
Yeah, there's no reason why you should feel like you need
Mhm.
to keep up with
Right.
anybody. You know.
Exactly.
The other thing is finances goes back affects your family.
Mhm.
So how? Well, if you're bad with finances, there's a high chance that your children will be bad with
Mhm.
finances. Now, if your children are bad with finances, let's just hope that they learn from that. But the chances of them learning is very, very slim. So now you have a generation that's gonna just not be good with finances.
Mhm.
We're living in it now. You feel me?
Right.
A lot of us suck in finances because
Mhm.
our grandparents were pretty bad in finances too.
Right.
I just think it's just that whole, like Dr. Umar said, it's just they want freedom.
Mhm.
People are looking for freedom in material things that cost so
Right.
much money, but it's
Mhm.
like you can do so much more. A lot of us want to feed the homeless. You know, a lot of us want to do this and that, but it's like, how can you do that if you're spending so much money on things that have no value?
Right, and that won't profit you in the long run.
Right.
I mean, like, come on, like $1,000 for an outfit because you're stepping out for your B-day, stepping out for the night. Okay, that $1,000 you could have like invested in a mutual fund, you know,
Yeah. Or
like
even
that
have.
or have, you know, like you could have used that money to invest versus, listen, people see me around campus, I'm always dressed very, very nicely, but my clothes, the blazers that I wear,
Thrift.
they're never over $20.
Yeah.
I'm always in a blazer, always dressed nice,
And
always.
that's the thing,
But
people-
things that I wear are like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe in spending. The shoes I'll be wearing is $7.
But
I don't
why
believe
do
in.
people think because you
You know?
dress nice, it's expensive?
It's equated to expensive, but you really don't. It's so sad. Like there's ways around looking nice.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend how much. You know, I see people with like true religion jeans, $300, but those jeans look very average.
Right.
You know,
They're just a horseshoe one.
exactly. You know. I don't knock people who buy that kind of stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like when you don't have your money in order, I mean, come on, like
Right.
fix your priorities, you know? Yeah.
It's just, I feel like, well, it's hard for people to get out of a habit. So trying to tell somebody who's used to spending money on certain things
Right.
all the time, it's not going to happen overnight. I feel like
Yeah,
they have to
definitely.
go through their own
Yeah.
process of learning that
That's why.
to change your habits of,
Right.
of spending certain things, you're gonna fall into a situation where you're like, dang, I really can't spend it on that. And it's like for me, my goal is to pretty much have funds ready for any situation, but to also have them ready, you know, to help people. I really
Right.
want to help people
Yeah.
with my funds. So I know that there's a sacrifice you literally have to make. It's called going through that time where you really don't spend money on things,
Yeah.
certain things. You feel me? But like I said, people spend so much of their money on so fast on certain things that they don't need. Have you ever heard about the rate of how long the dollar?
Yeah, I think you
stays in the
briefly briefly touched on that with me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like it only takes 6 hours for the dollar to leave the black
Yeah,
community as opposed to like I think the Chinese or Jewish community takes about 28 days.
Right.
That's very mind-boggling because it's like well for one reason it takes 6 hours because we don't have enough capital in our
Yeah,
community to have the dollar circulating, right? So we have to go to the Chinese store or the Asian store or the Jewish communities for us to get our services, right? But why don't we have those? Again, it's because we're spending our money on things that we don't need.
That don't even matter, you know.
If you have 5 people in one room that buy Jordans, right? Jordans are about 200. 200 times 5 is 1,000. That's $1,000 within 5 people.
Yeah.
You can do something more productive with that $1,000
Yep.
within 5 people.
They
But
just walking around wearing it.
they wearing it, and the other thing is the cars, right? My mother's friend's son, he's a pretty smart person. Like, he's really smart. He has like all these degrees and
Right.
everything.
Nice.
And he was telling me how like he doesn't buy things that doesn't have value to it. So he was like his car is like from '04. He can get a brand new car if he wants to.
Right.
But he knows if he gets it, the value of a car depreciates as soon as you leave the lot. So buying a brand new car does not mean anything. And I had seen a post about that. You're better off buying a house instead of buying the car.
Right.
But people don't know that because again, it goes back to the keeping up with the Joneses type of thing again.
Right.
What do you think are the steps that need to be taken in order for somebody to switch over to understanding the process of being financially financially literate to have them in a position where they are financially free? What
Okay.
steps do you need to
Before
take?
I answer that, there was a point that you made as far as a lot of people have to go through this stage, like they have to learn for themselves. They have to go through that stage of not having. I read in a book, Millionaire Next Door, it said that a lot of millionaires are first generation, you know? So a lot of people who come from nothing, a lot of them have a different work ethic. So they really reached those millions, you know, versus somebody who kind of had that, you know, background or whatever. So they're able to really go out there and get it for themselves. And I say that just as motivation for whoever who may be listening, that if you see your current situation and you see that you don't have anything, or you come from the hood and you look around, nobody has anything around, a lot of millionaires, I'm talking real wealth people, come from they are first generation millionaires. So I just want to throw that out there as like a motivation for people, you know? But as far as your question, how do people become financially literate to financially free?
Yeah, so what steps do they have to take?
Right.
Let's say, let's use someone as an example that they're always, let's say they come to the event Thursday and they have a realization that they really need to change their financial situation. What steps would you advise them to take? Yeah,
so I always tell people, create your financial goals. I feel like that's a step right there.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, they look up, I don't have any money, oh my gosh. And you have to find your reasoning for wanting to save money. Do you want to save money because you're poor and you want to break a generational curse? Or do you want to save money because you want to go out of town? Do you want to save money because you need a car? You want to go to college? Do you want to save money because you want to get a house? You have to find your goal for wanting to be financially stable, first and foremost. And that can be multiple goals. But you have to create your goals first. Because if you don't have a goal, you'll be out aimlessly spending. You know, when you're out in the stores, do I really need those pants? Not really, because I'm trying to save for X, Y, Z. You'll have your why behind you everywhere you go. So I say people need to first figure out their goals, first and foremost. And then they need to set steps as to far as how they can achieve those goals. For example, if you are trying to save $1,000 by the summertime and you make X, Y, and Z, okay, look at your bank statements. Reevaluate what you're spending. Am I spending $100 a month on pizza? Am I? I mean, it's $17 every time you order. I mean, basically, Chinese food. Are you ordering out too much? Are you spending too much on clothes or your what are the game systems called?
Like Xbox
2 games or whatever, whatever that comes with that stuff. Look at your spending and start to draw back. Okay, so when you have that goal, okay, I'm trying to save $1,000 in the summertime. Draw back on your spending. And then from there, okay, I make X, Y, and Z in my paycheck. Let me go ahead and start saving this amount. That way I'll reach that $1,000 for the summertime, you know? I feel like you have to go through a season, as you mentioned earlier, a season of not spending, like a financial fast, you know? That way you're just saving. You're just trying to save as much, and then once you have your savings, then you can begin to investing, you know? Exploring ways of investing, more secure investments versus just, this is like it's gonna go, let me go hurry up and invest, you know? But looking into ways of investing your money. Then I feel like once you have knowledge of how money works and you start getting your finances on track, then you'll be on the path to being financially free or financial freedom, you know?
Right. I like the term a financial fast.
Yeah. It's funny because, let me say something about that term. I was in the library one day and this guy, he was running around the library dancing and stuff like that. And he came up to me, he was like, honey, I am on a financial fast. And then he walked away and started dancing again. I was like, okay.
A financial
I didn't,
fast,
at the time.
He must have hit a mark.
I guess, but it came out of nowhere when he said honey. And he said, honey, I'm on a financial fast. And then he looked at me and he stared at me and I was just looking at him. I didn't know what to say and I was just smiling. And he walked away and started dancing again. It came out of nowhere and I was like, what?
Well, I'm happy that he's happy.
Right, I'm happy. Listen, he get his finances in order and we all should too, okay?
That's really the ultimate goal. Like, I know for me, my thing is I don't want to be in a position where I'm getting married but I don't have anything in my account.
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest things people fall into. It's like y'all in love,
like,
y'all about to
honey,
get married, you're about to have a kid, but y'all only have how much in your account?
Oh my
you know, this is no shade, but this is real. Like you, like people say, oh, there's never a you're never not. What is it? What's the quote? You're never really ready to have a child. Yes, you are.
Yes, you
can.
Okay.
First of all, you can prevent it, and you can have it whenever you want. So don't tell me you can't. There's really no time to have a baby. Yes, there is. There's just a lot of y'all don't think
you want to
that
take
way.
the precautionary steps.
That's it. Don't try to put that out there on me and stuff like that. That's you. But me, I don't want to have a child where I have an X amount of money in my account for me to take care of, because I want my children to be more secure than I was when I was living. You know, if you're not thinking that way, then you're not even in the same position. You're going backwards. Because at some point in your life, your child might ask you, how come I don't have this that this kid has? You know, you're going to be like, I don't know. You won't even know how to answer that.
Or you'll be ashamed to say, you'll
be ashamed. You're just like, you know, we didn't take the time out to do this and that. Don't be that kind of family.
Right.
As soon as you
find out you're pregnant or that you're having a kid,
go open some
college funds,
saving funds, and some life insurance.
Yes, exactly,
Please.
exactly.
Because life insurance is so important, and I know a lot of people of color don't rock with that. I don't know why.
Then they want to have GoFundMes.
Right, it's
people
like
die,
you don't need the GoFundMe if you have if you have life insurance.
Exactly.
Like, what's the issue, yo? I think it comes back to the whole idea of being miseducated. You know, you go to a family, a Caucasian family, they are stoked to open a life insurance policy because they know their child is good. But black people, they're like, nah, I'm not opening a life insurance. Like, you'll probably get like 1 out of 10 that'll open a policy. That's bad, yo. Then you wonder why people, after someone in the family dies, people are stuck in a position in life where they can't really move because the person who usually dies probably was the breadwinner.
Right.
You know, so finance.
Let me say something about relationships. Let me go back a little bit.
Please.
That is very important for you to have your finances in order before you even get in a relationship with anybody. And let me just speak from experience. Well, not my experience, but my growing up. You know, my parents. My mom was the breadwinner, okay? And
Same.
You know, my father, he always worked, was a hard worker. He was, you know, always worked, but it's kind of hard when one person is pulling most of the weight, you know what I'm saying? And so when the divorce happened, everything was really on her, you know? And I saw my mom hustle. She always was educated, had 2 degrees, you know, but she always had 2 jobs just to make sure that things were right for us, you know what I'm saying? And we can prevent that, you know? Before you go into a marriage, like, talk about your finances. How much money is really in your account? How much debt do you currently have? Because when we can come together, that's our debt. You know, that's our finances, you know? I feel as though we're so quick to talk about, oh, I want a man, I want to get married, but you don't have a license, you don't have a job, there's no form of income that you're bringing in. And as a woman, there's this stigma of find a poppy that has money, find a sugar daddy that has money to pay for everything. No, because that's not stable. Let me tell you something. As being a woman, there is nothing more empowering than being able to go shopping and spend my own check, okay? There's nothing more better than me having my own check, okay? And when I'm out and I got it, listen, there's nothing more empowering than that. Why even put yourself in a situation to be in a relationship and you don't have any money, you know? Like I said, our priorities are so messed up. Let's just say you go out on a date and your boyfriend or whatever, he doesn't have his wallet, like he may have lost it or something, and now it's like, okay, the bill is $30. Okay, who's paying for it if you don't even have, you know, $30 in your account? Now you're gonna look embarrassed. You know, we have to really get our priorities in order. It's not about, oh my gosh, I want to be with him, or he treated me this way or this way and that. Listen, is your money in order, honey? You know, and for the guys out there, is your money in order too? You know, because I'm a strong believer, and I feel men should be providers for the family. You know,
men should absolutely be providers, and this is why, like, people think when they tell me, "Oh, how come you don't have a girl?" This and that, like, yo, I'm trying to get my life in order. Like, literally, like, I don't want any time spent with somebody if I don't have anything to offer them. And they take it as you insecure, you need confidence. No, dog. It means I literally need to get my life in order. That means I have enough respect for myself and that person to show them I'm not trying to waste their time. Because I need to build myself up. Like, people need to understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yo, if I know I need me a strong woman that can be there by my side, I have to be able to be by her side and to be able to provide for her as well.
Right.
You know, you can't just be a regular person who's only living paycheck to paycheck and you have literally nothing in your account. What do you do when something comes up?
Right.
You know, like what do you do when something comes up? And that's what we're talking about. Now, some might take this as, oh, are you saying that we should marry people for wealth and this and that? No. But what we're saying is, if you do like somebody, right? Let's say you guys are really involved with each other, with all the, you know, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, et cetera, right? You guys need to at least sit down to talk about your finances. Now, if he is broke, right? Let's say he has nothing. Find a way to get him to a better position to get there.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm not saying
That's
leave
it.
him. I'm not saying
That's
leave him
it.
because he's not there. If you really like that man, if you really like that woman, y'all gonna push each other to get to a better position financially. And I think that's the other thing. Like people say, oh well, you don't have nothing in your account. Well, you're disqualified from being. No, that's not what we're saying. If you're really about being together, you guys will definitely find ways to make a plan to become more financially stable together to get you to the point where you can get married without getting into debt. Because I think paying for a wedding just to get into debt is crazy.
It is crazy. That's, oh my goodness, that's such a drawback. I mean,
that's OD.
Seriously.
But was there anything else you wanted to put out there? You know, your social media handles.
Yes, so you guys can find me on Instagram, Finance with Giovanna, and Facebook, Finance Talk with Giovanna. Yep, those are my social media handles, and I just want everybody else to know, whoever's listening, that it's never too early to get your finances in order. I feel like the earlier, the better. We don't teach finance in the school systems, even at the universities. We don't teach personal finances in high school. All of that. So it's never too early to get your finances straight.
Right.
You know, I don't know if I worded it like, honey, get your money in order, people will think it's a more interesting topic or something. But listen, we're talking about money here.
Yeah.
Money is everywhere. You want to go somewhere, you're going to need money. So it's never too early to get that straight.
Right.
You know, so don't think you have to be some sort of, and also don't think you have to be some sort of investment banker on Wall Street to become an investor. Listen, if you have a smartphone, you're able to invest right at your fingertips.
Right now, $5.
Okay, $5. You could open up a brokerage account. I know TD Ameritrade has apps you can use. The TD Ameritrade app you can use. Different brokerages that have apps.
There's
you know,
resources again.
you can watch the market right at your fingertips. You don't have to be some sort of huge investment broker to start investing. So I want everybody to realize that saving and investing is much easier than we think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Gia, I really appreciate you coming on today to discuss your career, your journey, and finances and everything like that. I really thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Jeen the Jeenius. This has been another edition of Nabruh Talk, and we are out of here.